Hey everybody, it's Michael from Replica Airguns. Today we are going to be looking at the KJWorks MK1 Carbine green gas airsoft rifle, and this is the tabletop review, so no shooting with it at this point. Now I have reviewed similar products to this in pistol versions, going a little bit of a ways back. Now ASG has the MK2 version of this. I believe I've already reviewed that as well. It's a two-tone version. But that product would be made by KJWorks, and I'm pretty sure going back, I may have reviewed the MK1 as well. I'm pretty sure I've got a video there for you guys. Just go back a bit, do a little bit of a search on the channel or on the website, and you should be able to find it. But I have not reviewed the rifle version of this product. So this is the MK1 version, which has a different trigger guard. They kind of look the same. If you were looking at the pistol version, this trigger guard would be more rounded than the MK2 version. And the barrel is smoother, so it's more just oval as opposed to being kind of notched where it's got the indents in it, which is what the MK2 version looks like. So that's the best way to tell them apart. Again, no shooting in this video. That'll be followed up shortly. Now, because this has a much longer barrel, it should perform pretty good. It does have a fairly high claimed FPS of around 450 plus, even with the green gas. Because the pistol grip is fairly narrow, you're not gonna be able to use CO2 in here. So it just comes, I believe, in the gas version. So you can use green gas or propane in it. We'll get into that in a bit, but let's get right into the specifications. This is a non-blowback rifle. It has a metal upper and barrel with a plastic lower and frame and stock. It does use gas, propane, or green gas. It shoots 6mm plastic airsoft BBs, and it does have an adjustable metal hop-up. So this is the metal hop-up version. I believe some earlier versions may have had plastic hop-ups. It does weigh in at about 2.71 pounds or 1.23 kilograms. The total length is 33 inches or 83.8 centimeters, and the barrel length is 17 inches, coming in at 43.2 centimeters, and it's non-rifled, being that it's an airsoft rifle. It does have a 17-round dropout metal magazine, which is full-size and holds the gas along with the airsoft BBs. You're going to find a post front sight and a notch rear sight. The rear sight is fully adjustable for windage and elevation, and there's also a Picatinny rail on the top near the rear by the sight there, which you'll see when I do the look around here, the walk around. The trigger is going to be double action only since there's no blowback. And again, it has a claimed FPS of 450 plus. So hopefully when I do my field test shooting video, it'll come in close to that. Now it is a non-licensed replica of the Ruger Mark I. It is made and distributed by KJWorks out of Taiwan. I'm not sure if ASG is going to take this up or not and have their own version. KJWorks is known for making products for other companies, the likes of ASG, Umarex, and a number of other companies for sure. Now it does come in a nice cardboard box. I'm not really going to be able to show you it. I'll just do a pan by here. There's not a lot of information on the box, but this will give you an idea. It's just very basic, right? Not a lot of information. KJWorks really doesn't put a lot of stuff on their boxes, but that's okay. That's what it looks like. It's just basically styrofoam on the bottom with cardboard box on the top. You're also going to find some airsoft BBs that come with it just to get you started. I'm not sure what the gram is. They're probably like a 0.20 gram or something like that. I'm not sure. So unfortunately, I don't have any of my I couldn't find, at least. Maybe they're here somewhere, but sometimes the boxes get stuck in the back behind a bunch of other boxes. But I did have that ASG MK2 version. I may have even had an MK1 version going back to KJWorks. I'm not sure, but I couldn't find one to show you. So you'll have to look at, maybe I'll put a picture on the screen here of what this kind of looks like in terms of the pistol version. Again, this is the carbine version. So instead of a pistol grip, you have the built-in sort of stock. So you could remove this, I guess, put pistol grips on it, and then make it sort of a pistol version with a long barrel, right? So it would look something like the pistol version would look kind of like that, right? But this is nice because this is shoulderable. It's going to help you with accuracy and just, you know, be a nice little mini sort of compact sniper rifle at the end of the day. And with its higher power, you could probably get out to some pretty long ranges if you could dial in the accuracy. So at this point, let's take a good look at it. So I'm just going to, again, do sort of a pan by because I can't get it all in the screen all at once, but just give you a kind of sweep of it, right? And then I'll get in a little tighter and we can show you some of the detail on here. Okay, now I'm not going to field strip it or anything like that. It is field strippable, but you'll notice here that this pistol grip is covering the axis. So there's an area in the back here, And when I did the MK2 ASG video, I believe I field stripped it there. So if you want to see how it's field strippable, look at the ASG MK2 video where I actually take it apart. So you can remove this whole bolt. So you can see here, this is a one-piece thing. You can remove the top portion from the lower, the upper from the lower, and you can essentially take this out and get at the barrel and all the internals if you want to. But for now, we're just going to keep it all intact. Take a good look at it. So there is your sight that's adjustable for elevation. And then on the other side, you're adjustable for windage. This would be like with an actual Ruger MK2 or MK1, this would be your bolt that you would charge it with to get the, to load around into the breech and then have it ready for single action shooting. And here is your rail, Picatinny Weaver rail. By the way, that little opening right there is an Allen key spot for adjusting the hop up. That said, I have seen other video reviews. I like to usually watch a few reviews before I make mine. And a lot of people are saying it's kind of finicky in terms of trying to get that hop up to do much. It does work, but it seems kind of like it's not as responsive as maybe it could be. So you do have a metal trigger, right? And I like the sound. Hopefully you can hear this on the camera, but I'll pull that up to the mic here. It's a very satisfying sound. A lot of air guns have this clinky sound when you pull the trigger back or the hammer drops or whatever. This one actually sounds very mechanical. It sounds like you're actually doing something. It sounds like a real firearm. So there's your post sight on the front. You've got your opening there. Again, the barrel, I don't believe it goes all the way down, but it does. If I'm looking down the front, you can't really see it, but I'm looking down the front and I can see that metal inner barrel does come almost all the way to the front. So that's kind of nice that it does that. Now to get this magazine out, there's no magazine release where you'd normally find it up here. You have to push this back here and then pull it out. Okay, so it's kind of like a Luger type idea. Kind of looks a little bit like a Luger, doesn't it? So yeah, so there's your magazine. There's your gas valve for putting your gas in, right? So obviously you just use your gas, fill it up. I've got propane there. And then you have a follower that you can pull this down and you can load BBs with the speed loader or just throw them in there. I mean, it would go pretty good because you got no spring tension until you release that. There's your CO2 valve there. Okay, it's all metal. It's quite nice. As you can see, it's fairly thin. That's why it's not CO2. You're not going to get CO2 in there. That's just not going to happen. Okay, again, that's your magazine release right there. And there's your rear stock, just a plastic stock. Doesn't weigh in at that much. I believe it's pretty much under 3 pounds, right? So it's a lightweight gun, being that there's quite a bit of plastic in the stock. This foregrip area up here, right? Front portion of the stock. The barrel is metal. The sights are plastic, by the way. Okay. The Picatinny rail may be metal. I believe that might be metal, actually. This rear sight, I believe, is metal. Yeah. And I believe this is metal as well. So, yeah. And that's all metal. So there's quite a bit of metal in here, really, when you look at it. There's a decent amount. All right, let's get into the pros and the cons, and then we'll finish up this review. Now, if you own a real Ruger 22 long rifle, you might be interested in something like this because it's going to feel and look a lot like your Ruger 22 long rifle Mark II or Mark I. In this case, it's the Mark I, but they are similar to the Mark II, and that might be another reason to buy the pistol version. So there are options there. It does have that adjustable rear sight for windage and elevation. It also has a metal hop-up for backspin tuning if you want to tune the flight trajectory a little bit. It does have a full-size all-metal dropout magazine that holds the Airsoft BBs and the gas. And the trigger has a really nice, satisfying sound. I didn't really mention it. It does feel pretty good. It is double action, so it's a bit longer, but it is smooth and it's fairly light. You're also going to find a full metal upper and barrel with lots of metal on it where you need it, including the metal rear sight, the bolt, the trigger, the magazine. Now, the fact that it's non-blowback helps with velocity and gas usage, so that is a pro, but it doesn't have that single action trigger because of it or any type of blowback that gives you a little bit of simulated recoil. And you can field strip it like the original MK series. You just will need to remove the rear stock, so the pistol grip portion, to get at the area where you need to remove it or take it apart. A couple cons: it is a non-blowback gun, so there's no single action trigger. It is a double action trigger. that does feel a little heavier and longer than a traditional single action MK1. And again, some reviewers have claimed that the hop up is a little bit hard to adjust, and it may be a little bit too powerful for airsoft use in games, especially if you're doing any close range shooting. Now, if you're outside and you're doing some long range shooting, it's probably going to be fine for that, but I wouldn't want to do any close quarter stuff with this gun. All right, that pretty much wraps up this review of the KJWorks MK1 Carbine green gas airsoft rifle. I'll put links in the description for you to buy it if you're interested over in our Canada store. I don't believe it's in our US store. We just carry KJWorks here in Canada. But there might be an ASG product similar, at least pistol versions or other versions of the MK1 or MK2 being sold by different companies other than KJWorks. If you're interested in other products, air guns, BB guns, airsoft guns, pellet guns, blank guns, and other accessories, then check out replicaairguns.ca for Canada and replicaairguns.us for the US. And also check out my written post for this gun over at replicaairguns.com, where I'll have all of this information and maybe a little bit more, along with some photos for you to check out. All right, thanks again for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Until next time, take care.